So tonight we had an issue on this corner over here. As you can see, it got sanded down a little bit, but no matter what we did, every time we sprayed primer on there, it was actually acting like this. It was lifting up like there was a contamination on it, and it would only happen on the edge. So everything would be okay, and then you get to the edge and it would look something like this. Well, if anybody knows anything about painting, you definitely, can't continue with that. Otherwise, it's going to be completely 100% screwed up. So we pulled out the old citrus stripper, and we're going back to metal, and we're going to reprime it and restart again because we want this thing to turn out good. We've got the trunk over here, and it looks really good. We're ready to spray the roof. We've got one little issue right up here. It's actually a little high spot that I want to take care of, but other than that, the roof is good, the trunk is good, ready to lay something down, but gotta wait on this. Now it's going to be tomorrow before we get all this completely stripped. We already took the top layer off. It had the white up underneath, and we're going to let this sit for a little while and see how it turns out. Hopefully it will turn out good and we'll get a good paint job out of it. Here's what we're doing right now is we're taking this all the way down to metal. We've taken this and put some stripper on it. Now we've just got a couple areas that are a little thicker that are all gooey. Anybody that's worked with stripper knows that you just can't keep this stuff on there. It'll just peel off. Sanding it is okay. However, it gums up your sandpaper pretty good. So if you take one of these and lightly go over it, you can actually peel it right up. It's not really hard to do and you don't leave any major scratches. We're going to be going back over this with sandpaper and finishing it up, but for right now, this is about as good as it's going to get. But once it's done, it's all nice and smooth. Then we're going to go back over this and we're going to sand it again, and we're going to primer it today, hopefully with real primer in a real gun, and see how that works out. Now she's all sanded, wax and grease removed. That's that little bit of wetness is there, if you can even see it. But all we have to do is hit this with a tack cloth, and then we can start laying down some primer. Hopefully it's going to turn out really good. Got everything set up, ready to shoot the primer. Got this paint shop primer, we're going to try that. It's made by Duplicolor. Got a stir stick, got some coveralls, got gloves of course. And got our HVLP gun. Ended up getting some of these disposable cups. They're probably going to make our lives a little bit easier. I put one of those on there. I'm going to use one for the primer. I'm probably going to use the regular cup that it came with for the base coat. But for right now, for the primer, that's what I'm going to use. And I got my Harbor Freight gun here. It's got its own little regulator, and I've got a little moisture trap on there, a filter, and hopefully that's going to work out good. Got some lacquer thinner for cleanup, but other than that, we are pretty much ready to go. All right, after some trials and errors, we finally figured out this gun. when I was cleaning it from when it was new, there's a spring right back here that I did not put back in, so it was dripping like crazy just right outside the gun, which wasn't good. Then we finally got a pattern. It's kind of hard to see on this board, but we ended up getting a pattern like this, which was really good. This was all the trial and error stuff, but we ended up getting a good coat of primer on here so far. Everything's looking good, and we're going to be coming back in a little bit and doing another coat, and then we're going to be doing some wet sanding and preparing for color. So that's definitely exciting, that's for sure. Alright, this is with the black. It's still setting up, so some of this will probably level out, but there's a lot of orange peel in it. I think I had the gun set up wrong. I think I was spraying out too much material. I mean, it looked good on the spray patterns, but I don't know. I didn't cover this front enough over here, so I'm gonna have to put more down there. Didn't get that edge. Yep. Well, we got another quart, so I'm gonna let this sit for 24 hours. Then we're going to wet sand it. Try to see if I can get some of this orange peel out, and then I'll probably put another coat on it and see how that goes, and then go from there. Well, this is the next day. Had a day to let it, or a night I should say, to let this really kind of level out, and it did level out. I mean, there's a heck of a lot of orange peel in here, but the thing I'm concerned with most, I don't know if it's going to catch on the camera or not, but it's these little string things that you can see in there every once in a while. It was coming out almost like cotton candy, and it was because I had the machine set way too high. It was just spurting the paint out and not atomizing it like it should. I mean, it came out better than I thought it was going to, but if we wet sand this with 1000, I'm sure we'll get most of this out, and it will come out a lot better than it did. And then we'll be able to get this done up right. There's a little bit of trash in it, but nothing bad, nothing terrible. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to look, actually, after seeing what it looked like yesterday. Even on camera, it doesn't look all that bad, but if you get real close to it, you can see what I mean. There's all little marks in it and spits and spatters, and that was because I just had the machine turned up, the sprayer, I should say, turned up way too high. With this one here, I'm going to have to go down, you know, a turn or more. And what I learned yesterday is that if I take this and make it a horizontal pattern, so it looks like that, and I spray it, should be able to spray for like 3 seconds and not have any drip at all. So I'm hoping that I can do that at least today, get the gun set up to where it's working right. Maybe I can lay down a little bit of paint here. I might just wait until I can wet sand this and see how that goes first, and then work on that second coat, because whatever I do, I have to wait 24 hours to wet sand it. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, today is the day. We're going to take this and wet sand this down and get rid of some of these imperfections on the surface here. Some of these little, they're almost like little strings that came out because I had way too much product coming out. So we're going to be wet sanding that, this, and the hood, or the roof I should say, and hopefully going to get a good finish. Going to touch up some areas with some other stuff, and then we'll be ready to spray the clear. But we also have something kind of neat planned for this fender here that's in primer, but we're not going to talk about that right now. because that comes later. But it's going to be kind of neat when we get it all done. I'm going to set you up on the tripod. I'm going to do a little bit of time lapse. Sit back, listen to some music, and watch me work for a bit. This is day 385,000. This is after painting it once again. It looks pretty good, actually. It's leveled out kind of good. There's a couple dry spots in it. a little bit of tiger striping, but I think that'll go away with the clear, but we shall see. I mean, you can see my reflection in there, and it's a lot smoother, a lot cleaner than what it was, that's for sure. Even when you get up close to it, I mean, there's orange peel in it, but there's orange peel in your factory paint job too. So it's a lot better than what it was. It's a lot smoother. So hopefully when I clear it, it'll actually be pretty decent. But we shall see again. Got a little sun flare in there for the rising sun. Still got to clear that along with all this other stuff here. But I think that's actually going to be kind of cool for the front. Little subtle graphics. Getting kind of spicy.